Welcome to another video. In today's video I'm going to show you how to replace your 99 to 2004 convertible top latch. As you can see, this one is latched completely, but you can take it off, or if you're on the freeway it's going to lift off. Stay tuned.
Music bed.
One of the hardest thing with this thing to switch it out, it really is, because it's up here. I am gonna take this little hex bolt off, but I'm pretty sure there is no way for you to get behind here. So the main thing is we have to peel the convertible top off. And so I replaced this about 2 years ago, maybe 2.5, 3 years ago. And at that point, this thing was still, the previous owner had put this little piece of rubber because it was loose, but it worked. Looking back, I should have done it at the same time, because we do have to peel this off to get to that latch here. So let me show you guys kind of the process. This is my first time doing it, really, so we're gonna learn as we go. Okay, so one of the first things to get started is we're gonna take these screws off here on this metal piece. This is kind of what holds the top. The top is stapled here on top, but then there's this metal piece. So we're gonna take these Torx bolts off all the way, and then take this metal piece off, and that way we can take some of the staples off here and then peel this back out from underneath. Okay, so you just take this metal piece off here on the back, and then I actually took the metal piece on the side. So this one goes on this part here. There's 3 bolts. Once you take the rubber seal off, there's 3 of these bolts. There's still the Torx, but they're bigger than the other ones. And pretty much underneath, I mean, you see here the staples. And so you just gotta be careful, but we're gonna pretty much unfold this. So take some of the staples off, and I'll probably pull it back just a little bit, maybe, so it's about this area. But be careful, because there's like a kind of like a plastic piece that the staples staple to, and that plastic piece is attached to your top. And you don't want to just start ripping everything off. Be careful on how you're doing things. So also be very careful when you're taking that metal piece. It might be kind of stuck to this cloth, or the top. So just kind of put something between to kind of start taking it off. I'm gonna take some of these staples off, probably around here, just so I can fold this over and look at that that latch here. So once you take some of the staples off here, you can peel this out. There's gonna be this wire here that kind of holds your top as well. And so your top's gonna be through that wire there. So you don't wanna rip that out, because obviously then your top's gonna come off of the sides here. So you can peel it back about this much. Now, you can see underneath the latch is right in this area. But there's this other layer here. So this is stapled here to this plastic. So what I'm gonna do actually is I'm gonna get my stapler. I know on the bottom here, I mean, it was difficult, but I was able to staple. So I'm just gonna test out, see if I'm able to put new staples in this plastic piece. If that does work, then I'm just gonna take these staples off here carefully. And the other option is to drill out these rivets. So there's 1, 2, 3, And that's gonna take this whole plastic piece out together with this, this I don't know, material here. So I'm gonna see which way works best for me. I do have a rivet gun and everything, so I mean, the rivet might be the best option actually. I just don't know. These are kind of short rivets, and I don't, well, I mean, I can see them here on the bottom. I think I'll be okay. So you know what? Let me just get a drill bit and drill these rivets out, and then we'll take this piece back. Okay, so there's these 3 little rivets. I think this is the best way, but you know, you can make a choice, I guess. Once you take those off, then this goes back here, and we can access that the latch. So this is the spring for the handle, and then looks like there's a big Torx bolt right up here. And then once that is off, there is a pin right here with the clip on that side. So from what I can see, I'm gonna have to undo this spring here and then do this bolt, and then we take that out. I'm gonna get a different stand for my camera, and I'll just have it rolling while I do that, see how that goes. Okay, so hopefully I'm by myself here today, so hopefully the camera doesn't fall off here and you guys can see kind of what I'm doing. I know it's a little dark. I'm gonna use the light here, but I'm just gonna get some pliers, take this spring off first. I don't think it has that much tension, and then I'll get my Torx bit here in a sec. For the spring, I'm gonna use some needle nose pliers here, and these are, well, needle nose spice strips, I guess, but so you can just, you know, squeeze it and then unhook it from up here. Be careful, this is like your headliner. You don't want to just rip it. Be careful. So I just kind of folded it up. It is glued here on their side and kind of stapled, so we can make sure to stretch it back in. But spring just kind of goes in there when you get the new one. Let me get the new latch. Surprisingly though, it was a little hard, I guess, to find the new latch. There's only a couple places that have the driver's side, if they have any at all, but it does come with a new spring. So, you know, if that's broken or whatever, you have a new one. And then your new latch, which is, you know, once it's all apart, it's just kind of a big mess. And it also does come with that new pin that goes under there with the new clip. So I think the main part is, I have no idea. I don't know why this other one wasn't latching. Maybe just worn out. Looks like there's also another little, maybe it's a screw where it slides on. Well, we'll see when we take it out. We already have the new part, so regardless, we're gonna put the new one in there. Let's see what Torx fit that is. Be careful on the back, on the metal piece that goes underneath here when you're tying it, because when I did the top, there was a few broken bolts already on there. And I don't think they, you know, they don't need to be too tight, but if you tighten them up quite a bit, they break fairly easy. And I think once I'm done here today, I'm gonna drill a couple of those and put new screws on there, just that way make sure there's enough screws in there. So yeah, this one, same thing, it's not really that tight. It pretty much just has to hold that piece in there, so I guess that's why it doesn't have to be so tight. It also has to pivot on that, in this big screw here, so. So there's a washer with this screw. It's kind of like a nylon washer. Make sure you, you know, keep everything in the right order. And so once we take that off, then we can move this a little bit. It looks like this is maybe an Allen. Screw. Doesn't look like a torque, so I'm gonna get some Allen wrenches here. And it's fairly smaller head. Now I do see that it's fairly loose right now. I don't know if that's what had loosened up over time. I think I could probably just turn it by hand almost, but just trying to get the right Allen wrench here. But it looks like it's gonna be a metric. Because one of the standard sizes, one was too small, the other one was too big. Let's see this one. This one seems small. It's just kind of like the, you know, USB ports, right? You try each one, nothing fits, and then you try the first one again, or flip it around, then it finally fits. So yeah, so I can turn this fairly easy. Almost feels like it was probably loose. It's just a matter of getting your fingers in here. It's kind of tight, so I don't know if this was part of the reason that it wasn't really tightening. I wouldn't think so, just because from what I can see, there's a small bushing in there, and well, there's also a shoulder on this bolt that keeps it from, you know, tightening up. Like, you tighten it up all the way where it's supposed to tighten it up, and like that's as far as it's gonna go. So there is some thread locker in here, so make sure to put a little bit in there when we put it back in there. So you can see the bolt, hopefully, but it has this shoulder. So, you know, once it tightens, it, you know, it'll be a little bit loose, but not that loose. So I don't think that's the reason why it was not working. Let me look at the new one here, this clip. Okay, so it looks like we just have to lift up the little tab and then slide it out. So I'm gonna get a small screwdriver. The nice thing with that is, you know, I'm gonna try to not break the old one, but I'm also gonna try to, well, I guess that's the only thing. I'm gonna try not to break the old one, just that way I have an extra one. But I'm glad that the new one came with the clip. So I put this pick here. I don't know if you guys can really see it that easy, but you know, it's down in there, so it's hard to kind of show you tight. But I put the pick on this side, and then I put the screwdriver and I pried it up. And as I pried it up, I pulled it, and so here's my clip. So it's not broken or anything. I can reuse this if I needed to. And then we should be able, now we took that off, to push this pin out. Gonna set down my clip here. Probably use my pick. Kind of push on the pin. The pin looks like it goes in there, you know, very nice and tight. So to put it back in, it's not gonna be hard, but you have to make sure everything's lined up pretty nicely. So, all right, this is out. And you could probably take it out whichever way. So here's that. Gonna finish taking the pin out. Right in here. All right, so there's that. I mean, I don't really see what would be kind of broken other than this clip here, looks like possibly. So everything looks the same. The only thing is I don't know, this one. So right here, this metal piece where this slid on a little bit, looks like it's a little bit, you know, I can see a little bit of metal, so maybe it wasn't that tight in that spot. I'm not sure. Looks like I'm gonna have to reuse this bushing here. On the handle. So I don't know, but be as it may or may not, we're already here. I do see this clip. I mean, it looks okay. I'm not sure, so I'm gonna just kind of put it together. I'm gonna clean some of this dirt off here real quick and then put it back on there. Alrighty. Gonna grab my, maybe I can show you guys here on the new one how I took it out. So I just put my pick in there, squeezed it out, and then just pulled it out. Now if you remember, this pin was the other way here on the car, so keep that in mind. Let's see, so this was this way, bushing here underneath. And actually, I'll let the bushing out for a second here while I put everything else back in. I'll make sure to put underneath as we're putting that piece back on there. So. Okay, I see. So the hook has a little bit of tension once you put it in here. So I think like this spring, it didn't have that anymore. So I couldn't figure out how it goes back in. So see now, like here, it's got the tension in here. As the old one, I don't know, it didn't really seem like it had that much tension, but I'm not sure. That's interesting. All right, so I'm gonna get this clip here. And slide it in the groove, so that's the only It's not really difficult, but you just make sure you slide in the groove good. And then now I'm gonna get that other screw that went in there that had that little shoulder. I'm gonna put some Loctite in there as the old one did. And this had a blue Loctite, so that's the same that I put back in there. Gonna be a little bit hard to put in there, so okay. What I did was I put it in the Allen wrench here. To help me keep it straight and to help me turn it. Because I can go from the inside of the vehicle and do that. I'm sorry if I'm in your guys' view here, but just take your time, you know, turn it a little at a time. Gonna make sure it goes all the way in. Like I said, it had that shoulder in there, so once it's tight, it's tight. So that should be good. With the Loctite, that shouldn't loosen up. You know, I'm not sure. It was a little bit loose, so I don't know if that was part of the problem there or anything, but. And then I'm gonna get the other screw, the big one. Just this one here. Also had some Loctite, so I'm gonna put some blue Loctite in there. It has the nylon washer on here. I make sure to put the washer on the handle side. And this one's gonna be the same thing. You know, it's pretty much gonna bottom out there, but it's gonna be, I mean, you know, this handle can still move. So one thing to remember is the little Allen screw here on the front. You have to, you know, turn this hook to either make it go up or down depending how tight you need it to be. So. But that's pretty much it. Looks like it's all good back together. Get my tools out of here. Now we do have to put this piece back on there and fold this over. So I'm gonna take the camera off here, and then I'm just gonna take I put a box here to hold this up a little bit. I'm gonna take that off, make sure it goes down, make sure I can latch it. If that's good, then we're good to assemble everything else. One last thing I almost forgot. Make sure to put that spring for your little latch. So you don't put this on there, it's not gonna go back the way it's supposed to. So, all right, so I found some rivets here that I had that look like the right diameter. So let's see how they work. This is just a cheapy rivet gun that I have. I do have a big rivet gun, but for these tiny small rivets, this is more than good enough. You can get one of these like Harbor Freight or your local parts store for, I don't know, I think they're like 20 bucks, and it comes with like a assortment of rivets. You could probably get like a better brand one than this one. I mean, as you can tell, it's kind of not as great condition, and I haven't really even used it that much, but it gets the job done, and it's getting the job done now, so I guess that's what matters. I can definitely say doing the rivets is way easier option than the staple for this. So, you know, there's a quick tip for you. I'm gonna go get my staple gun to staple this back, and then I think I have some adhesive. So there's a special glue for the convertible top, but I'm just gonna get some spray adhesive, spray it right in here, and then just a little bit here underneath where this goes, kind of how it was before. So okay, so that's how I put a box to hold this in there. I already tried, and I mean, it works great. You know, it latches and everything. I can't adjust it right now because I have to, you know, put the metal piece that goes underneath and everything, but everything looks good. Looks like it's working good. So whatever was wrong with the old one, maybe just over time, just a little bit wear on all those little pins, just make it not latch. So I'm gonna grab my rivet gun here, get some rivets in here, and then put this back in there. So let's get that going. Okay, so once you have everything put all together, just go ahead and adjust, you know, turn the little screw, and you're good to go. Make sure everything latches good. So you know, now it doesn't really come off like the other one. It's nice and tight. The other one, you know, it would just lift up. So that's how you replace your latch. 99204 Mustang convertible. Any questions, comments, leave them below. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you on the next one.